Hello friends, welcome to next lecture in Advanced Engineering Mathematics lecture series. So in this lecture we'll be discussing about the discrete probability distribution and also we'll take a few examples to understand this discrete probability distribution. So to know more about this, please subscribe to this YouTube channel, click the bell icon for the latest notification of the videos on this YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram and like our Facebook page Mechanical Engineering Tutorials. The links are in the description below. So friends, let's begin with the lecture. So coming to the first point to be discussed here. So what is discrete random variable? So if a random variable takes a finite real value which are determined by the outcomes of the random experiment, then it is called a discrete random variable. So here for each value of xi of a discrete random variable capital X, we assign a real number p of xi such that there are two possible cases. So one is p of xi should be greater than or equal to 0, and the second condition is that summation of p of xi about the variable I should be equal to 1. That is, when you add up all the probabilities of the real number xi, then those probability sum should be 1. So these two conditions have to be satisfied. Then the function p of x is called a probability function. Now, if the probability that capital X takes the value of xi is pi, then p of x equal to xi will be equal to pi or p of xi. So the set of values xi comma p of xi is called as the discrete probability distribution of the discrete random variable capital X. So the function here p of x, which will be denoted, is called the probability density function called as PDF, or the probability mass function called as PMF. So now we have understood what is a discrete random variable. So now we'll come across what is cumulative distribution function. So now we'll take the discrete random variable capital X once again. So let capital X be the discrete random variable. We define f to be cumulative distribution function of the random variable, where f of x will be p of capital X less than or equal to x. Now what this will be equal to? This will be equal to summation of p of xi from I equal to 1 to x. That is p of x1 plus p of x2 plus so on up to p of xx. So for a general frequency distribution, when x bar and variance sigma square are given, okay, when the mean x bar and the variance sigma square are given, so these values will be given by the equations here. So for any frequency distribution, when we consider the mean x bar and the variance sigma square will be given by this equation. That is, x bar will be equal to summation of fi. So what is this fi? This is over here whatever the distribution you take for xi versus fi. So when you multiply that xi and fi upon summation of fi will give you the mean of this frequency distribution. Then the variance, that is sigma square, will be summation of fi into xi minus x bar the square upon summation of fi. Now here these equations you may not understand here just by the notations. So when we'll take up the examples in the next section of this video, you will clearly get how to obtain the mean and the variance. Now on similar lines we can define the mean and variance of discrete probability distribution. So in this case, the p of xi corresponds to fi and we have summation of fi is equal to summation of p of xi, and this should be equal to 1 because that is the condition when we have considered that p of xi is a probability distribution. So in that case, the summation should be equal to 1. The mean and the variance of the discrete probability distribution are defined as follows. So you can determine the mean mu as summation of xi into p of xi, then variance sigma square as summation of xi minus x bar the whole square into p of xi, and standard deviation is nothing but the root of variance, that is sigma. So now we'll take up an example to understand this. So on the screen you see the statement of the problem. So we have a random experiment of tossing a die. Twice is performed. That is, a die is tossed 2 times. So the random variable capital X on this sample space is defined to be the sum of 2 numbers turning up on the toss. That is, when you toss the dice twice, whatever the numbers you get on the dice, you sum it up. So that summing of those numbers is the sample space defined. Now what we need to find? We need to find the discrete probability distribution for the random variable x and compute the corresponding mean and standard deviation. So now let us see how to go about with this problem. So first we'll define the sample space. It is x comma y, where x is 1, 2, 3 up to 6 because a die has only 6 number on its face. Similarly, y will be again 1 to 6. So we should get sample space as 1, 1. That is, in the first toss you will get 1 and in the second toss you will get 1. Next, in the first toss you will get 1, in the second toss you will get 2. Similarly, in the first toss you may get 1 and second toss you may get 3. So on like that. In the first toss it will be 6 and second toss 4, then first toss 6, second toss 5 and the first toss 6 and second toss 6. So what we can say, there will be 36 such combinations, and that is we call as the number of elements in S, that is ns. So we define this ns as 36. That is, when you count these 1, 1 as 1, 2, 3, so on like this, you will have 36 such elements. Now, the set of values of random variable x defined as the sum of 2 numbers on the face of the die are 2, 3, 4, so on up to 10, 11, 12. That we shall see with the help of a table below now. So these association of the elements of S to the sample variable x are tabulated as follows. So first will be 1, 1, that will be x1, we denote it as 2. Then 1, 2 and 2, 1, so x2, that will be 3. Then 1, 3, 3, 1 and 2, 2, so this will be 4. Similarly, this will be 5, 1, 5, 5, 1, 2, 4, 4, 2 and 3, 3. So this will be 6. So that is, when you add these sum, you should get these values. So when you add here 1 plus 1, you will get 2. So now here 2 plus 1 is 3 and 2 plus 1 is 3. So there are 2 such combinations where you will get the sum as 3. Right? That is, in the first toss 1 and the second toss 2. The first toss 2 and in the second toss 1. So these 2 combinations when you take, that is when you add these sum, it will be 3. Next, sum should be 4. In that, how many combinations you get? 1 and 3, 3 and 1, 2 and 2. So these together, when you sum the inside elements, it will be 4. Similarly, for the sum 5, what will be the combination? 1 and 4, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 3 and 2. Similarly, for sum 6, you will have 1 and 5, 5 and 1, 2 and 4, 4 and 2 and 3 and 3. For sum 7, these will be the combination. 8, these will be the combination, that is 2 and 6, 6 and 2, 3 and 5, 5 and 3 and 4 and 4. Similarly, for 9, you have these combinations. For 10, these, 11, these, and lastly for 12, these will be the one combination, that is 6 and 6. So now we will assign an event number to obtaining these sum. So when you toss the dice twice, you will get 1, 1, that is the sum should be 2. So let that be the first event. So you denote this as event number 1. So to get sum 3, we have this event. Okay, so how many events are there here? This is 1, this is second, so this is 2. To get sum number 4, that is sum as 4, you have 3 events, that is 1, 2 and 3. So we denote it as 3. To get sum 5, we have 4 events, so 1, 2, 3 and 4, so 4 events. So to get sum 6, you have 5 events, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Similarly, for obtaining sum 7, you have 6 events, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so you denote it as 6. Similarly, to get sum 8, now you'll have 5 events, then 9 has 4 events, 10 has 3 events, 11 has 2 events, 12 has 1 event. Okay, so now here we have counted the number of events to obtain these sum. So now here I have this ns as 36 and these are the events, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So now I have to calculate the P of x1, P of x2, P of x3, P of x4, so on up to P of x11. So here P of x1 will be NE upon NS. So what is NE? This is the NE. So here it is 1 and NS is 36. So 1 by 36 will be P of x1. Coming to P of x2, it will be 2 upon 36. P of x3 will be 3 upon 36. P of x4 will be 4 upon 36. P of x5 will be 5 upon 36. P of x6 will be 6 upon 36. Now P of x7 will be 5 upon 36. So again I have denoted this as P of x7. So from P of x6 we go to P of x7. So what is P of x8? It will be again 4 upon 36. It will be same as P of x4. P of x9 is 3 upon 36, which will be same as P of x3. Then P of x10 is 2 upon 36, same as P of x2. And P of x11 is 1 upon 36, which is same as P of x1. Now that we have obtained the probability distribution of these events here, now we have to draw its complete distribution table. So now we have xi, the sum which I have calculated, that is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'll just go back to the table. So here this will be the value of xi. So now here I write those value of xi. Now P of xi is what we have calculated those values here. So those values will come as P of xi. Now if you see here P of xi is greater than 0. So the first condition is satisfied. Next, when you add these P of xi, the sum should be, so 1 by 36 plus 2 by 36 plus 3 by 36 plus 4 by 36 plus 5 by 36 plus 6 by 36. Then again plus 5 by 36 plus 4 by 36 plus 3 by 36 plus 2 by 36 plus 1 by 36. When you add them, it will be 1. So if you want to confirm this, just pause the video, manually calculate this and check whether it comes as 1 or no, and then proceed further with the video. So now we have proved that this is a probability distribution. So for this probability distribution, now we'll have to calculate the value, mean value and variance, and also standard deviation. So as we have seen this equation, mean is given as summation of xi into P of xi. So this is summation of xi is 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6. So this will be summation of xi. But since this is the product of xi into P of xi and then its summation, it will follow this way. So 2 into 1 by 36 plus 3 into 2 by 36 plus 4 into 3 by 36 plus so on up to 12 into 1 by 36. So when you add all these terms, it will be 252 by 36, which comes as 7. Okay, so the mean is calculated for this probability distribution as 7. Now coming to the variance, it is given by the equation summation of xi minus mu the whole square into P of xi. Now xi will be this value, mu we have already calculated as 7, and p of xi is this. So 2 minus 7 the whole square into 1 by 36 plus 3 minus 7 the whole square into 2 by 36, so on 12 minus 7 the whole square into 1 by 36. So when you simplify this, this comes to 2 and 10 by 36, which will be nothing but 35 by 6. And the standard deviation will be root of sigma, that is root of 35 by 6. Coming to the second example here, find the value of k such that the following distribution represents a finite probability distribution. Hence find its mean and standard deviation. Also find p of x less than or equal to 1, p of x greater than 1, and p of minus 1 less than x less than 2. So in this case, the probability distribution is given here. So x is minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and p of x is k, 2k, 3k, 4k, again 3k, 2k, and k. So let us see how to go about with this type of problem. So we have p of x greater than or equal to 0, and this condition is satisfied if k is greater than or equal to 0 and summation of p of x is equal to 1. So this condition is satisfied if when you add k plus 2k plus 3k plus 4k plus 3k plus 2k plus k, and that should be equal to 1. So with this equation we get the value of k as 1 by 16. Now we rewrite the discrete probability function table. So in place of k we substitute as 1 by 16. So k will be 1 by 16, 2k will be 2 by 16, 3k will be 3 by 16, 4k will be 4 by 16. Again 3k will be 3 by 16, 2k will be 2 by 16, and 1k will be 1 by 16. Now directly here the probability distribution table is obtained. So with this table we will determine the mean and standard deviation. So I rewrite the table once again here for the reference. So mean is given as summation of x into px, that is xi into pxi, that is minus 3 into 1 by 16 plus minus 2 into 2 by 16 plus minus 1 into 3 by 16 plus 0 into 4 by 16 plus 1 into 3 by 16 plus 2 into 2 by 16 plus 3 into 3 by 16. So when you simplify this, this comes as 0. So here the mean will be 0. So to obtain standard deviation, we should first have the variance. So variance is given as sigma square, and that is summation of x minus mu the whole square into px. Mu is 0, x values you know, p of x values you know. So substitute in these equation like we did in the previous problem, and when we simplify this, this comes to 5 by 2. So again here you can pause the video, manually simplify it to cross check whether you get this answer or no. Now once you have got the variance, we directly get the standard deviation as the root of variance. So it is root of 5 by 2. Now we have to determine the p of x less than 1. That is p of minus 3 plus p of minus 2 plus p of minus 1 plus p of 0 plus p of 1, because it is p of x less than or equal to 1. So all these you have to consider. So that will be 1 by 16 plus 2 by 16 plus 3 by 16 plus 4 by 16 plus 3 by 16, which comes to 13 by 16. Next is p of x greater than 1, that is p of 2 plus p of 3. So this is 2 by 16 plus 1 by 16 as 3 by 16. And p of minus 1 less than x less than or equal to will be p of 0 plus p of 1 plus p of 2, because it is less than or equal to 2 here. So p of 2 has to be considered, and since it is greater than, and that is minus 1 less than x not equal to, so we don't consider minus 1, we consider from 0. So p of 0 plus p of 1 plus p of 2. So 4 by 16 plus 3 by 16 plus 2 by 16, so that comes to 9 by 16. So that's all friends we have in this lecture. So hope you have understood. So any doubts, then please feel free to put a comment in the comment section below. So till then, take care, and before going, again I request you to please subscribe to this channel and follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. The links are in the description below. So thank you very much.